Hey, BassGeek here. It's time to throw a jerkbait. There's no doubt about it. And I've got a jerkbait 1-2 punch bass can't resist. Hey geeks, first thing is I want to tell you thanks for watching, making 2024 a great year. We hope 2025 is just as good. Listen, we appreciate you allowing us to do this. We appreciate that you guys come and watch and allow me and my buddy Mike to live this incredible dream. All right, now let's talk about the baits. I've got 2 jerk baits for you that have different actions, different tweaks that work as an incredible 1-2 punch. And one of them is a limited time run. Let me show you what we're talking about. So there's 2 baits out there. One of them you've already seen me talk about. And if you haven't seen this video, make sure you stay to the end because I will put a link in the description so you can go check out this video. So these 2 jerk baits, first we're going to talk about the one you can get anytime, not the limited run, but this is the new Booyah Flash Point. Now, I did a video on this a little more in depth a little while back, and I'll leave a link if you stay till the end. I'll leave a link. It's got underwater footage, the whole 9 yards. But this is an incredible little bait that I really like, and it's got a very good action to it. And that's one of the reasons why I like this. And I'm telling you, this is a 1-2 punch between these 2 baits. This bait has a nice wide bill, but it has a very skinny flat side, a little bit of an arched back, but squared off a little bit more. And it gives this bait a really great side to side slashing action and a good wobble, but it's more of a side to side slashing action. This color here, and they come in a ton of different colors, is Chrome Dome, but it's a great little bait for some clear water. And let me tell you, that right there is incredible and flashes like crazy in the water, especially on a sunny day like today. All right, so Smithwick has brought back an incredible bait. It's a little bit bigger of a jerk bait. It's got a nice round body to it, and this is the Suspended Pro Rattling Rogue. The Pro, which is a little bit bigger of a bait, which I love. It's known to catch big fish, big bass, and they put the FX colors on this limited run series. Now, you geeks have seen me talk about this in a previous video also on the Smithwick Suspended Rogue that I bought a bunch of a while back. This is a little bit bigger, so if you're out hunting for those bigger bass or you're calling them in clear water from longer distances, this is the bait for you. It's got a very unique roll action to it, but these baits are incredible and painted up incredibly too. For example, this is the bait that I'm going to be tying on today, and this is Northern Lights. I love this in the lakes that have alewives in. It's got that little bit of purple on the side and that little bit of chartreuse on the belly there. These things are incredible. Now, you're not going to be able to see how good these colors are. This is called oil green. They're not going to come across. I'm not taking these out of the package right now because I'm not using them today. But if you've ever seen oil on the water, how it rainbows out, that's what the back to the sides go to with this little bit of green. This is a cool color. And that's the one thing about these colors. Every single one of them has that sort of pearl essence, sort of color movement on each one of them. So it gives each bait a very unique sort of presentation, flash in the water. This is blue violet. This is oil blue. This is violet cream. Last but not least, this is violet chartreuse. All right, geeks, so we are going to tie a clip on here. I like using a clip. It allows me to change baits quickly. And my opinion is it doesn't hurt the action enough for it to matter. Use the smallest clip you can get by with. Now, we're just going to tie a pit seam knot today. I just tie it around 7 times and then come through that top loop. Then, of course, I always want to moisten and slide down. Then we just snip our tag in. So what I'm going to talk to you about is the different retrieves that I like to use with these baits, because they both do something a little bit differently. We're going to show you that in the water. All right, geeks, so rod reel line setup. This is one and has been one of my favorite jerkbait rods for a very long time. I've had this rod for years. This is a Fitzgerald Versa, and this is a 7-foot medium action. It's got a micro guide as the first guide here, casts a mile. I've got it teamed up, of course, with the Lew's Custom Pro Speed Spool. You can tell I've had that thing for a long time. She's pretty beat up, but she does a great job. Love this rod because of the waters I fish, it casts a mile. And of course, what am I using with it? Pro 100, K9 Pro 100. Make sure you check that discount out, because I'm telling you, guys, this line is incredible. And 2 things for you. These rod covers I get off Amazon. They're super cheap. You get a bunch of them compared to everywhere else. They work extremely well, and I'll put the right size clips that I like to use that keeps from getting hung up in the hooks in the description below also. So the biggest thing I want to talk to you about is really the retrieve when it comes to these baits. How this one you can barely tap and you're going to get that side to side action. This one you got to put a little more snap into, and then there's a little technique because this has an incredible roll right at the end of your snap. I love to do with this and let it sit a little bit longer. But you'll see the different actions. Now, where do we like to fish them? This is a great little place right here. The places I like to fish a jerkbait is definitely going to be around some sort of hump, some sort of bluff wall, some sort of channel swing, some sort of flat, something where I can throw these and target areas where bass are going to be. Boat docks, marinas, anything you can find close, deep water around, these are going to be perfect. You're going to fish them pretty slow. And to be honest with you, you know, I know a lot of people talk about, I'll let them set for 10, 15, 20 seconds. Something that I think I've learned because of forward-facing sonar, rarely do I let them set now longer than, say, 3 to 5 seconds. I just don't do it anymore. If they're going to see them, they're going to turn on them, they're going to bite them, they're going to do it. And it doesn't seem to matter how cold the water is. So let me show you this one and the retrieve I like to do with it first. So with anything, because I fish clear water, I like to make long casts and cover a lot, and it allows the bait to get down a little bit deeper without the help of any suspend dots or anything else. The retrieve with this is I want to make sure that I'm tapping it and giving slack back to this bait as quickly as I can. That's how you're going to get that side to side dart action with this bait. Now, as far as hook set and retrieve, you guys have seen me catch a ton of bass on jerk baits. I'm going to side to 45, and then I'm going to play them out. You definitely want to make sure you use your thumb bar. I don't like drag on, and I know some of you that watch a lot know I don't like drag on spinning reels either, but I'm getting a little bit better at it. But drag on casting reels is really, I don't care how good they are, most of the time it's garbage. I'll press the thumb bar and I will feed line myself to the bass and play them myself. Now it'll take you a little bit of time to get used to that, and the big key is you just want to make sure you do not give them any slack in the line for those treble hooks just to fall out. Then it's winter time. I'd prefer you use the net. If it's a dink, boat hop it. If not, just go ahead and get down there. Be careful if you're thumbing that bass. Those treble hooks and a jerk bait will get you quicker, I think, than any other bait out there. Now this bait, not only because it's a little bit bigger, but this is pretty much how these are designed. You gotta hit them a little bit harder. The Flash Point, you can just touch it and give that line back, and you're gonna get some incredible action. This one, if you just barely touch it, it's gonna barely move. So you're really gonna have to hit it at the top and then feed that line back to it. So in that, that's the beginning of where this bait is different. And where this bait is a little bit heavier, you may even get away with a medium fast moderate on this instead of a medium mod. I might even throw that on there to really force it to have that slash action. These baits do sit nose down, which is always what you want in my opinion. But something that I really like is the body roll. So a lot of times when I'll hit this bait real hard, I'll just keep my rod tip right there, let my rod tip flex out, and let this bait just wobble and swim for a foot or two. That gets this bait killed. Now again, this is a great place to fish this bait. If you look just over my shoulder, we're at the first third of the mouth of a creek right here. Now this is something I think during the wintertime a lot of people kind of forget about. You know, the first third of that creek right there is bass that live in this creek. They're gonna move out there. They're gonna sit on these steep bluff walls. We got a ton of water here, and we got some rock and some wood, which makes a great bass habitat year round. We're sitting in 20 to 30 feet out here in the middle, so these bass are going to be here. I love, especially with the wind blowing in, to be able to go right down this bank and fish these laydowns. But on the retrieve, one thing that you want to make sure that you're doing, and again, when you're casting it, sidearm it, make a long cast. You know, again, I'm in this super clear water, so I like to make as long as a cast as I can. When you get a little closer to some of the laydowns and stuff, sometimes, you know, it's a little easier to get a little closer and make a little better target cast. But this one, you're going to really want to hit. It's a bigger bait. It also moves more toward you than it does side to side. So it doesn't stay in place as much, but it's got still a nice action to it as it comes through the water. You're going to want to hit it, give it a little bit of line so that you get as much movement out of it as you can. Now, one of the things that I really love about a Smithwick is they work so well fast. So they've got such a roll to them. And that's the key. You're really looking at that smaller movements, but a better roll and a little more flash. And what I really love about this bait is a little technique. About every, you know, third or fourth little jerk pattern, I like to hit it hard at the top and just let my line or my rod flex and pull. Now that's what you hear a lot of people tell you not to do, but I have caught so many bass. Just twitch, swim, and it's got such a great body roll to it. As it swims, it will trigger a big bass because they don't see that anymore. Setting the hook is going to be the same. Playing the fish, making sure you're depressing the thumb bar to give them a little bit of line when they need it is going to be the same. And landing is going to be the same. Geeks, I can't tell you how much and how important it is to make sure you keep those hands dry as you possibly can in the wintertime. You'll have a much more enjoyable trip. Geeks, these two work so well hand in hand. I like to have them tied on to see what the bass wants. If they want a little bigger bite with a little more body roll, or they want a little more finesse bite and a little more side to side action, staying in place. What do the bass want? These are two great baits. And again, a very limited time run of these. So go out and get them right now. There is a 15% off code down there. So everything you get from Lornet, you can get on the cheap. Now, if you want to see a little more of the Flash Point in action, make sure you go check out this video right here. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get notifications when the videos come out. You geeks have done incredible. And as always, you geeks rock.